Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Here we go again.
So, guys, before we get into the Earth changes, we see a truck carrying propane tank flips, explodes into a fireball on the New York City Expressway. This truck was carrying propane. It flipped. They think it probably hit black ice. And, ooh, that's a scary thing, you know. This caused a big explosion. This was in Queens on Long Island Expressway around midnight after a tractor-trailer overturned when it struck a barrier. And again, they don't know for sure, but they believe it might have been black ice that caused this.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel real good.
No, it doesn't. And let's see if we reload this for you guys. I think we're okay to play this one. If it will reload, it didn't want to come up, which was weird as well. I will give you guys the link. We also see an oil train derailment prompts mass evacuations, and this is in Custer, Washington.
And this has really got to make you wonder.
Whatcom County has ordered everybody within a half mile of downtown Custer to evacuate, while first responders work to contain the area after a train carrying crude oil derailed at about 11:40 a.m. on Tuesday. Interesting. So, I'm always suspicious.
Oh, I know. I don't know. My thoughts were telling me since there's this issues going back with the elites, they could be playing games with each other and saying, see what I can do to you. Yep.
We talked about sleepers.
Yep.
Could be nothing. But and we did see some of these before. We saw derailment over in the UK before that seemed really kind of suspicious. 3 to 5 of the train's tank cars have fully derailed. Some are on fire, sending giant plumes of smoke into the sky. Curious. Officials are still investigating the cause. Meanwhile, we've had a lot of these, and we have Asteroid 2020 YS2 flew past the Earth at 0.2 of a lunar distance. So again, that's a close call. That's a legitimate close one.
That's a close buzz, yes.
And we were wondering if we're going to get to 100. Well, we got to 106 known asteroids that flew by the Earth within one lunar distance. And again, a lunar distance is roughly 239,000 miles as opposed to an astronomical unit, which, I see a lot of tabloids talking about close call asteroids, and then they are talking about, maybe 0.2 of an astronomical unit, which is 93 million miles. That's a big difference from a lunar distance. This one was small, probably only about 5.5 to 12.5 feet in diameter. So, more than likely this would have just burned up in the atmosphere and might have been pretty.
I think so. Something mild.
And so we have a minor, G1 minor geomagnetic storm watch in effect for the 23rd and 24th. A series of positive polarity, polar connected coronal high speed streams are expected to affect our planet in the days ahead, resulting in a G1 minor storming. And, again, you could see some of the northern lights. It's so beautiful, coming down a little bit lower than typical. In normal times shouldn't be anything, but again, everything is interconnected. So, who knows? Maybe there is a little bit more chance of some volcanic or earthquake activity, which, by the way, we see Chevluch has exploded again, and this time the ash is up to 28,000 feet. So, again, that would be a color code red alert there. We've seen a lot of activity now starting to kick in with the volcanoes, and we have lava fountains at Etna as well, and waiting on Vesuvius and watching Pele closely.
Watching carefully and closely.
And meanwhile, we have large landslides. We were talking about landslides in the UK, and we have large landslides causing major damage in Iceland. We had landslides in Iceland not too long ago either, so a series of them have been reported in a town, which I'm going to let Cindy say this one.
Oh, no, that's just so wrong, but I will sit here and talk for a moment while you study it.
Say dish for your sure something. It's like, Worcestershire sauce.
I think he did perfect, you guys.
I think Icelandic has to be one of the most difficult languages there is.
Yeah, I would say so.
Most definitely. So the landslips occurred following days of heavy rain. Meteorologists said the precipitation from December 14th to 18th was the most recorded during a 5-day period in the country. But, records falling left and falling right. An unprecedented December freeze engulfs Russia, Asia, Alaska, Canada, and Australia, sending the global temperatures plummeting. And I think Cindy and I are starting to feel really hardy with it. I mean, we went out hiking and right around the freezing range. We weren't even remotely cold.
Oh, the blood's starting to thicken up. Yeah, we're doing good.
Yeah, years in the south. Yep. Now I'm getting used to the higher altitudes. Yep. Still, I'm not used to getting winded when you're doing the hikes. It's big difference between hiking in Florida and hiking at 9,000-10,000 feet.
Well, we're getting very well rounded.
We are, and I like it all. I really do. I like it all. I like the woods in the south, as well as mountain hiking can be spectacular. We have seen some beautiful places.
Oh, we've been so lucky to see beautiful stuff. Yes.
So 80+% of Russia is fighting abnormal cold, and in some areas as much as 20 degrees below typical. Remember, though, of course, with the weakened magnetosphere, you're going to have the jet stream doing that big dip down and then big dip up. So what we get is just simply extremes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And, we got it all going, and we have the second wave of biblical locust plagues hitting the Horn of Africa and Yemen. And if we could send a prayer out to Yemen, again, this is one of those places on Earth that's been hit harder than most. Between the wars going on there, everything, it's been just so hit, and so many people in Yemen, we've been talking about this all year, how like 5 to 10 million people are facing starvation, real starvation, not hunger, just hunger, but starvation and death by starvation.
I know, and it's really wrong, and it's not fair, and they don't have an even playing field at all.
No, I mean, this is an impoverished nation that's been so beaten up, and now we have, look at this. I mean, they're eating everything in sight. Look at that before and after. Again, please send your prayers for them and your positive intentions. It's the last thing that these people need is continued warfare, bombardment. And, of course, now we have the locust plagues on top of all the earth changes. That's a face only a mother could love.
Oh, I so agree.
World's ugliest orchid tops 2020 new species list. Now, that's the part I really wanted to talk about, not just how ugly this orchid is. And I wouldn't recommend you go pick it and give it to your loved one and say, see how much I love you?
No, they might take a insult with that, maybe.
Yeah, they might give you a glass of cold water in the face.
Yeah.
New species. There's a lot of emerging new species. And so they're talking about 20 new species of orchids on the list as well. And again, it reminds me of Robert Felix's book about evolutionary leaps in times when the magnetic shielding of the earth is down, so more radiation is coming through. And I'm going to share with you one of our friends, Scott, up in Massachusetts. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
He's like put 40 pounds of muscle on, and he's actually gotten taller. And so, I said to him, do you think the gamma radiation is going to make you turn green next?
They just might with him, yep.
They just might. And by the way, he is an amazing gardener. Yes. The bounty that comes from his place is just amazing. Mm-hmm. He could probably feed a whole town.
Well, he and his wife have worked really hard on their garden, and it's just, it shows.
Yep. And we love you, brother.
Yes.
But just wanted to share that. Mutations will occur in these times, and that's very, very interesting. And by the way, we're seeing changes. We've seen changes in different planets, and here we go with Neptune. That has a particularly interesting dark spot junior, and it's a storm that they expected to dissipate, but the storm changed direction against what's supposed to happen. So it's interesting. I know Ben over at Suspicious Observers was talking about these type of occurrences as well, and boating as perhaps a foreshadowing of what will eventually happen here. And we asked the guides, when will the pole shift be, the magnetic pole reversal? And they said still a ways out.
Oh, yeah, that's a ways out. This energy here is specific to Neptune.
Yes, but interesting that it changes direction and does what it's never been seen to do. It, again, makes you think about, the changes in these times due to, again, it's not just the Earth that's going through this. Our entire solar system is changing. And, our whole area of the galaxy is changing. And this is really interesting. Crop circles, we don't cover them too much. We've mentioned about a few. The thing that's interesting about this one was it's on the bottom of a draining lake. That is curious. This is in Croatia. It looks like maybe Cupid shooting an arrow. I don't know. What do you get out of this? What does this say to you?
It's some very talented work, and to me, I feel it's just a friendly reminder to these people down there that, yes, there are others besides yourself that exist on the planet.
Interesting. So you feel this might be a legit message?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Curious. Well, can you guys share what you see in this? Are we looking at a nice little alien here in a head? Wearing his head mask on? Is that what that part is? I don't know. That hits me as Cupid. Now this. Yes.
Oh, it hits me as an energy wave of sorts, some kind of an energy wave.
Maybe a galactic wave of love shooting the arrow through the heart of the planet.
I agree.
That we could use.
We need it, yes.
We most definitely can. So thank you guys so much for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. Make sure you are subscribed and have the bell clicked. Anybody that needs to make an appointment with us, reach out on EEARTS at Proton Mail or evolutionaryenergyarts at gmail.com. And thank you for your patience with us getting back to you. It's been pretty busy, but we want to help everybody that we possibly could.
Yeah, I second that. Thank you for the patience.
God bless and namaste.
Namaste.